Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, welcoming Black Sail star Captain Charles Vane himself, Zach McGowan, to Behind the Velvet Rope. Make sure to check out the season 3 premiere, January 23rd at 9 p.m. on Stars. Tons of action ahead. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, and the last time I saw you, Zach McGowan, we were at New York Comic Con where you guys had a pretty incredible reception. You're back for season 3, Black Sails, man. I was just talking to you about the production value on this show blows my mind. It's incredible to see, right?
It really is. I mean, between the sets and the CG team and the costumes and all the different departments, it really is. It's quite a production, and it's definitely very different than most TV shows you'll ever work on as an actor.
Captain Vane, quite a character. He's complicated, he's good looking, he's always in shape, he's always in conflict. Talk to me about when this character was pitched to you. You're coming off Shameless, where you're kind of this heartthrob, and now you're going to become a pirate. What was that transition like for you?
Well, it was actually an interesting. My agents had sent me the script and were like, "We think you're perfect for this, but they only want English actors and all that, and so we're having trouble. We can't get you in the room, but we think you're perfect for it. So what do you want to do?" And I was like, "I want to put down a tape and send it in. Can we get this to someone for sure? I mean, because I feel like I read it and I was like, I know that guy. I can play that guy. I know exactly who he is." And I put down a tape for it, and I sent it in to my agents, and I think I got a call like they want you to come in and read for producers, and it was like an hour after I'd sent it to them,
awesome.
and I was like, sweet.
This isn't how it usually works.
No, because it was the last. I guess it was like the last one of the series regulars they were casting, and they were having trouble with it. And I think at the time, actually, Luke Arnold, who plays who plays John Silver, he was they were like, he was either going to be Vane or Silver, and they weren't sure which one because they couldn't find Vane. And then they were like, if we make him Vane, then we're going to have to recast John Silver. And I guess I read for it, and they went with me. Luckily enough.
This is such a unique show. There's really nothing like it on television. You can probably point to various shows and find something similar in the genre. There's nothing like Black Sails. What's the fan reception? It seems like, I mean, just looking at your Facebook, your social media, fans love the show, but what's it been personally for you, this fan reception?
For me, it's been really gratifying. I mean, I think as an actor, you spend so much time with people like not caring about anything that you're doing that when they care, you're just like, this is awesome. I think the vast majority of people, I think when they meet me, they're like, "Wait, you don't really talk like that?" And I'm like, "No, for God's sakes! Imagine like I was walking around. I mean, no one would talk to me. It would I would have no friends. I'd be like arrested. I think it's good that so it's mostly that, and sometimes there's disappointment that I'm not like actually Charles Vane always. But I think, I mean, in general, people love the show, and if they know it, they're like, they love it, you know?
I remember when the whole Shameless thing happened, and you were this, it's a heartthrob role. It's like, I remember when John Stamos had Full House. I'm old.
Yeah.
God, I'm old.
No, I remember. Now it's Fuller House, right?
Right. The new generation doesn't even know Full House,
Yeah.
or like Fuller House. Who knows that? But it's incredible because you had this heartthrob status. What was it like when you were going through that with Shameless? Because Shameless had just started. It's this huge popular show, and you've got to be a heartthrob on it.
Yeah, it was interesting for me. I mean, I had just had my first child just before I got on the show, and so I was in like daddy mode, like nesting daddy mode, but playing this like heartthrob on TV. So it was very interesting. It was the first time I was doing anything on TV that was getting noticed, and so it was the first time I was taking photos with fans at restaurants and whatnot. So it was just cool to me. I think it was one of those things where again, if no one cares, then no one cares, and it's kind of like, all right, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But it was the first time that I felt like I was having an effect on people, and I really liked that I was just getting a response, and that people thought it was cool.
Is it weird when the onset of fame happens, when people start recognizing you and want pictures? Does it kind of take you by surprise? Wow, people want a picture with me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that I ever expected. I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna become famous. I just always wanted to be a working actor and just make a living, doing what I loved. So it was a bit of a like a trip to. I mean, I remember the first time I came back to New York, and I was actually at a wedding, a friend's wedding, and we actually in Cape Cod of all places, and it was the night before the wedding. And it was just right after Shameless had started airing for the first time, and I was with all my high school friends, and I was taking all these photos with people at this bar, and they were all like, "Dude, you're famous," and I guess I don't know this is just I've never experienced this before. I don't know what's happening.
I see. You're married. I don't know. This is why I don't believe in marriage. If you're an actor or something that can potentially lead to fame, I don't know if marriage can exist. I wouldn't be able to be. I can't imagine being monogamous in that environment.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I think that if I had, if I hadn't had the 10-year period of like trying to establish myself as an actor and working really hard and whatnot, I think that I might have kind of lost it and just gone off the rails. And if this had happened to me when I was 18, I'd probably like have died of like a heroin overdose or something, But I think I think it was fortuitous that that it happened while I was ready to be able to handle it. And in that way, I've been able to have a lot of fun with it, but also keep my feet on the ground and not turn into too much of a douchebag.
This is such a physical show. It blows my mind. I mean, the stunts, you've got to stay in crazy shape. What is that? Is it a year-long commitment for you to stay in shape and to physically be able to do a lot of these stunts?
Yeah, I think it's even more than a year-long commitment. I think it's a lifetime of commitment, and I think it kind of builds on all the skills that I've had throughout my life. I've always been an athlete, and I've always stayed in pretty solid shape, and it's just taking it to that next level for Charles and for Black Sails, and it's definitely a commitment. I mean, it's not something that anyone on the shows takes lightly, and I'm the same way. I keep at it. I keep at it and try to maintain the level of fitness that is required to be able to do those kind of things. I mean, in reality, people are like, you really can't fake a lot of that stuff. You have to just be able to do it.
No, you can't, or it comes off fake on television. That's part of the production value as well, right there.
Yeah, it is, and everyone works really hard at that. I mean, even down to every character on the show. And I think we all inspire each other to become better.
Season 3, it feels like the first 2 seasons have been leading up to this conflict. It feels like there's going to be a lot of conflict. Am I right? Is season 3 going to be pretty much all-out war at this point?
Well, yeah. I think we've been all waiting for like England to arrive and try to reclaim their island, and obviously, we're sitting on all this Spanish gold, and so we've pissed off the imperial powers of the world from this little tiny island in the Bahamas. So yes, look for the conflict to finally make it to our shores. And I remember in the trailer you see it all, so I can talk about it, but I remember there was the first day that I was on set, and there was a bunch of redcoats walking around on set, and I was like, oh my God.
This is so cool.
The redcoats are here.
Do you ever find yourself, like, I would find myself feeling like a little kid in that environment. Do you ever forget, hey, I'm a professional actor and this is like surreal? I feel like I'm on Treasure Island right now.
Constantly. I think it's the overwhelming experience for everyone who works on the show is that sometimes you're just like, I'm in a playground and I'm playing and we're doing a sword fight, But to maintain the seriousness of it, I think if they shot a show that was about what happened, off camera, like between takes, it would be a comedy, it would be a musical, it would be a bunch of actors being hams and hamming it up for everything. But between action and cut, everyone just brings it and knows that it's not it's not just an adventure show, it's a dark drama. And so like we all try to harness that at least for the amount of time that we can, and then like go back to like, oh my God, did you see the ship and the explosion? I was just running through the thing. Oh my God,
Were you a fan of the period? Like, I remember reading Treasure Island and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I wish I could transport myself back. Were you a fan of the period before becoming part of the show?
Yeah. I mean, I've always been fascinated by pirates, and I think I think anyone that like lives outside of the norms, the cultures, who puts their middle finger up to authority. You just kind of have this. You're like, oh, I wish I could do that. And certainly when I read Treasure Island as a child, the same thing. So I think, was I a fan of it? Yeah. And did I ever think I was going to do something like this? I hoped so, but I never actually knew I would. So it's great to be a part of more than anything.
We're living in the golden age of TV. I mean, there are so many great shows. We talk about it in our studio all the time. I mean, it's like, who's binge watched the latest show? Mm-hmm. What are some of the shows you're a big fan of?
Well, the last show that I watched like all the way through, where like I got onto it late, was Breaking Bad. I literally like sat down, and it was all of it was available online at the time, and I literally watched like the entire series in like 2 days, or 3 days or something. I literally did nothing else. I was inside of a hotel room, and I was just like, oh my god. That's a big one. And then I watched. I really love Narcos.
Oh my God, that dude is the best, Wagner Morris.
Oh, it's amazing. Best. It's amazing. I recently got into that, and I'm like, that's kind of the first one in a while that I've been into where I'm just like, you must release the next season. I have to see what happens. I mean, even though I know what happens, but I just need to see what happens, like how you guys represent it. And then actually documentary-wise, also on Netflix, I just did that whole Making a Murderer thing. Just like, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But it's funny, I've been lucky enough to be working so consistently that I just have these like little moments that I have the time to do it, especially since I have a family. Normally when I'm off, I'm with them. I actually don't watch as much TV as I should, and I try to watch more. I just don't have all that much time.
This is probably, between Shameless and Black Sails, just catapulted you in terms of career. What's next for you? Where would you like to see your career go 5, 10, 15 years down the road?
Well, I love working in television, and I hope to continue working in television for many years. But I also love doing film work, which is a very different experience because, in a film, you know exactly what's going to happen because you've read the script and the character goes from A to B to C, so to speak. Whereas in TV, you don't know what's going to happen because you're it's just like real life.
You're hoping that every script that comes, you're not killed off.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's a very different experience as an actor. So I'm 5, 10 years down the line, I hope to be doing television shows and doing more films and I actually just produced a first movie that I'm doing and I'm trying to do a little bit more of that and just stay active and be and just continue to do what it is that I love to do and tell great stories, and represent great characters. I mean, I think Charles has kind of opened a lot of doors to me as far as the action side of things, of being able to do a lot of these kind of large epic sequences and being able to handle it. And so hopefully that'll kind of lead into some other cool roles where I get to be badass and beat people up
and kill people with swords. Congrats, man. Really great show.